Let us be gathered together. Spirit of wisdom, mercy, and peace, we celebrate this day you who have accepted the invitation to enter this community and undertake the challenge and joy of learning. Coming from 44 states and 36 different countries, you who are new students bring with you all that is unique in your individual stories. You bring distinctive interests and unique personalities. Yet, for all that distinguishes you one from another, you are about to join with others in a common journey. Now strangers to one another, you are about to become neighbors and friends. Our hope this day is that you will, in the days ahead, open yourselves to new ideas, new perspectives, new modes of learning, and accept new responsibilities. As we look ahead, may you show yourselves to be curious, critical, imaginative, generous of spirit, and always at the ready with a question. May you learn empathy, patience, humility, and attentiveness, and learn the art of listening. May you experience here the complexity of the world, appreciating the diversity of peoples, ideas, and cultures, and build here a welcoming and inclusive community of peace and understanding. May you always act with respect toward yourselves and others. And may you acknowledge that in a world where so many lack opportunity, you are privileged to be here, and reflect with gratitude on loved ones who have helped make this opportunity possible for you. May you do all these things so that here you will experience a broadening of the mind and an enlarging of the heart, so that here you will expand your sense of wonder and deepen your sensitivities to needs of others. This day we welcome you entering students. In this moment we extend to you the hospitality of this university. We ask blessing on you. We give thanks for the gifts of life and love and learning that shall now form our life together. With grateful hearts we pray. Amen.
Good morning, class of 2026. Give yourselves a hand and then you can sit down. Welcome to our university convocation. This is a significant occasion, but not a solemn occurrence. Smile and enjoy the pomp and circumstance and tuck it away with the other special memories that have undoubtedly already begun to form. While your Lehigh experience started with your arrival, either for prelusion activities or yesterday's move-in and orientation events, today marks the official start of the academic year as we welcome you to our community of learners. And your learning and growth will occur both within and outside of the classroom. Woven into your experiences will be the blueprint, Lehigh's Blueprint 5 Foundations for Student Success, creative curiosity, identity development, collaborative connections, inclusive leadership, professional growth and success. And we look forward to accompanying you on that journey. So welcome to the 2022-2023 academic year. And with that, it is my distinct and sincere honor to hand over This book, containing the signature of all of the members of the class of 2026. And in doing so, your names are added to the rolls of students before you, and you are now an important part of Lehigh's history for students who will follow you. And I will be handing over this book to a Lehigh alum. Many of you met him yesterday as he joined other Lehigh faculty, staff, and student volunteers in unloading your vehicles and carrying your belongings up to your residence hall rooms up several flights of stairs. I believe your experience resonates within him more than any of Lehigh's previous presidents because he's lived in your residence halls and he's learned in your classrooms. Please give a warm, warm welcome to Lehigh's 15th president, Joseph Helbley, class of 1982.
Wow. Thank you, Dr. Hall, and good morning, everyone. To all of our new students, all of you assembled here today, you are now part of this incredible Lehigh family. Welcome to each and every one of you. As Dr. Hall mentioned, I am a Lehigh alumnus, and so I have been in your seat almost literally. In fact, my own first-year convocation took place in this very hall many, many decades ago. When I arrived here as a first-year student way back when, I wasn't sure of my major. I had not lived on my own ever. I wasn't sure if I'd be able to manage the time commitment of intercollegiate sports. The idea of independent research had never entered my mind. I didn't know if I'd be able to compete successfully in the classroom. The list goes on and on. Over my time at Lehigh, these became things that I was able to pursue, but on day one, at this moment, I knew none of this. So my emphatic advice to each and every one of you is if you don't have it all figured out just yet, don't worry. Another thing I didn't fully appreciate when I arrived as a student was the strength and the beauty of this incredible Lehigh community. I didn't anticipate that some of the people I met that first week, from my roommate to my Griffin, would become lifelong friends. I didn't anticipate that conversations with professors outside of the classroom would happen, that those professors would take an interest in me as an individual, and that those conversations would lead to graduate school and a life and a career and ultimately a return to this institution that I love, that I never envisioned as being possible. Those conversations with faculty and staff and classmates also encouraged me to explore outside the usual academic boundaries. As an engineering student, I took classes in international relations, history, economics, constitutional law, none of which helped me in chemical engineering. But each and every one of them opened a window for me into a different part of the world. This past year, my first year back at Lehigh as president, whenever I met students on campus or in the classroom, or when they joined me for my weekly Lehigh community morning runs, I would ask them to tell me about the friendships they developed, about their formative Lehigh experiences, and about their own interactions with faculty and staff. And I found that each and every one of them had a unique story. These students learned things about themselves by being open to possibility, by being willing to try new things, and by pushing themselves outside their comfort zones academically and personally. It happened for them, it happened for me so many years ago, and I am confident that it will happen for you during your time here. You're here during what will be a time of great personal growth, and you are here to seek an education. Now, what exactly does that mean, to seek an education? Well, in my view, first and foremost, an education does mean learning content. It's tempting to, in some ways, be dismissive of the importance of content in the age of Google, but to develop expertise, you must master content. Education means learning to communicate, collaborate, and be a functional part of a team. Developing skills both inside the classroom and out is one of the great opportunities you have at a residential university like Lehigh. Please take advantage. Education means learning to listen and engage, to be curious, to explore, and maybe, just maybe, to challenge your own preconceived notions of the way the world is or should be. As a Lehigh student, we ask you to engage in open and honest and respectful discussion and even debate on challenging issues. You'll encounter fellow students, staff, professors who have had different life experiences than you and who think differently about things than you do. It's okay to disagree with them in a way that respects their point of view. I would encourage you not just to respect those points of view, but to seek them out, to challenge yourself to learn from others who have had a different life journey and a different experience. I believe it's not only possible, but essential for our college campuses to support free and open discussion like this, and that is what I expect and ask of each and every one of you. Do so in an environment that embraces our differences, embraces every member of our community, and learns this as an opportunity for all of us to enrich our perspective and understanding of the world. Right now, as you begin your college careers, you're eager to meet many new people. You're eager to form your own community within the broader Lehigh community. For many of you, that in itself involves pushing outside of your comfort zone. Not everyone finds it easy to strike up conversation with a stranger, and several of you the past few days have said to me, President Helbley, I'm an introvert, this is hard. I know it is. But there is great value in taking that step and pushing yourself outside your comfort zone. You will do it now, especially while you're new. You put yourself out there because you want to be part of something, you want to connect. Hold on to that feeling. Don't let it go. Once you've met a few people and you're starting to enter the sophomore year or the second semester of your first year and you're starting to feel comfortable. Because while we all have a core group of friends that will develop, this campus and community offers so much more to all of us who are willing to ask, to listen, to be fundamentally curious. I'll do my utmost to meet as many of you as possible these next few years, and I'll ask you to make a similar commitment to each other, to look up when you encounter someone you don't know when they're wearing a brown Lehigh t-shirt that says to you, we are all members of the same community. Look away from your devices for just a few moments. Continue to engage, continue to meet new people, continue to remember that we are all part of this same incredible community. In the interest and spirit of community, let me end with just a few words about South Bethlehem, your new home. Lehigh is part of the fabric of this vibrant, diverse, accessible, human-scale, amazing city. Visit the shops and the restaurants, walk the streets, participate in community service opportunities when they arise, mentor and tutor in the local elementary and middle schools. There is no limit to what all of us, can accomplish when Lehigh University and the city of Bethlehem work together. Make it an important and foundational part of your experience. You will all be richer because of it. Welcome to Lehigh. I look forward to getting to know many of you these next 4 years. And I would like to now call the mayor of the city of Bethlehem, Mayor J. William Reynolds, to the podium to offer his words of welcome. Welcome to Lehigh. It's great to have you here.
On behalf of the city of Bethlehem, I want to welcome you, but we have to start by, I think you guys need to give yourselves another round of applause. It has not been an easy last couple of years for anybody, let alone people that are 17, 18, 19 years old. And the first thing, I think the most important thing, and a lot of these speeches will probably blend together and you won't remember any of them, but things are going to be good. It's going to be okay. Like, just trust us on this. You're going to look back at this time and you're going to almost laugh at the idea that you were sitting next to people that you didn't know, that were going to become your best friends, going to become your boyfriends, your girlfriends, eventually your spouses maybe. Some of you will be here for 4 years, some of you will be here for 50 years. And that's an amazing thing. There's an opportunity in front of you that any adult here, and I know you're 18, 19, I don't quite call you adults yet. Any adult here would love to be 18 or 19 and have that blank canvas in front of us to be able to paint whatever picture we want. This is a historic time for the city of Bethlehem and for Lehigh University. This is not the place that your parents might have come or your grandparents might have come. And a lot of people are going to tell you what Lehigh is. But that also comes down to what you believe it is and what you want to make it over the next 4 years. I grew up in the city of Bethlehem. As I said, my dad went to Lehigh. He passed away a couple years ago, but I always think back when I'm in Grace Hall that he was probably sitting in one of those chairs not knowing what his life was going to have in front of him. And then he met my mom, and they lived in Bethlehem, and he raised 5 kids. And it all started because of the institution of Lehigh University. Bethlehem is a changing place. Last week, 2 weeks ago, we were once again named one of the 100 best places to live in America. We have the hottest zip codes. Everybody wants to come here. We're seeing investment like no other city is seeing. And we're looking to you. We're looking to you to be a part of that fabric. As President Helbley said, to go down and walk around and shop at our restaurants and eat. But more than anything else, we want to welcome you to be part of our city. And I know this is a nervous time. I think one of the most difficult times in my own life was those first couple of weeks I spent at college, when you walk away from that world you've always known, your friends you've always known. And I'm telling you, it's here to be okay. It's going to be like that book you hadn't read yet, that movie you hadn't watched, that a couple years from now or 5 years from now, you're going to look back and you're going to say, wow, I remember how nervous I was. I remember how scared I was to sit in that room and listen to those people talk about what Lehigh is. This is an amazing time for you. It might not feel like it yet, but it is. And on behalf of the city of Bethlehem, I want to welcome you. And just as we are welcoming you, I hope that you welcome us. We're a community that's been here for almost 300 years. There's a diversity in our neighborhoods that is amazing. There are people in our city that care about you, that don't even know you yet. But please, please, please care about them as well. And I don't say that only out of our own self-interest, but out of your own self-interest. One of the most amazing things about college is the idea that you get to prepare yourself to be in the real world where you can then deal with anybody. And one of the amazing things about Bethlehem is the socialization that you receive from dealing with people that have more money than you, less money with you, a different experience, different race, different ethnicity. But that opportunity is in front of you. And sometimes it's okay just to sit and take a breath and say, I haven't figured everything out yet. And we are here to help you on that journey, but not tell you what to do, not look down. The only thing I'm going to tell you what to do is make sure you throw your trash away. Because when you don't throw your trash away in those neighborhoods, I hear about it. And I might not be old enough to be your parents yet, but I will knock on your door if you're not throwing your trash away. But beyond that, we are not here to tell you what to do. It is your life. You have an amazing opportunity in front of us. We are extraordinarily grateful that you've chosen to spend your next 4 years here at Lehigh University as part of the fabric of South Bethlehem. And I will end by saying we are counting on you too, because we are taking Bethlehem into the next phase of our history. And that's going to come down to not just what we want to do, but what you want to do as well. So welcome to the city of Bethlehem.
Welcome, Lehigh class of 2026. My name is Nathan Urban. I'm the provost here at Lehigh. I have really just one message for you today, and that's you belong here. We're honored to have you as the new members of the Lehigh community. You represent less than 10% of all the students who applied to Lehigh. In part, we chose you, and in part, you chose us. And so I would say that we chose each other. The people on the stage, the faculty, the deans, department chairs, staff, university leadership, as well as many, many people across campus and across South Bethlehem are committed to your success. Success at Lehigh and success beyond Lehigh. Because the remarkable thing about being at a great university is that your success is our success. When a Lehigh alumnus working at Northrop Grumman succeeds in leading the design and construction of the James Webb Space Telescope, when that telescope takes the highest resolution pictures of distant galaxies that have ever been taken, and when scientists use this telescope to make new discoveries, that is a success for Scott Willoughby, Lehigh alum, but it's also a success for Lehigh. When a Lehigh alumna becomes the CEO of Deloitte, and then follows up on that by becoming the first female commissioner of the WNBA, that's a success for Kathy Engelbert, but it's also a success for Lehigh University. When a Lehigh alum from Johnstown, Pennsylvania becomes U.S. ambassador to India, and then follows it up by becoming vice president at MasterCard, that's a success for Rich Verma, but it's also a success for Lehigh. And so when one of you, a member of the class of 2026, founds a company, sells their startup company, or when a member of the class designs a new system for efficiently capturing clean energy from the power of tides, that will be a success for that student, the faculty who mentored her, but also a success for the university and for the planet. The power of having your goals and the university's goals aligned in this way cannot be underestimated. That's not to say that you won't experience challenges. Challenge is part of the plan. Your faculty will challenge you intellectually to do more, to work harder, and be more creative than you've ever been. Life will also be a source of challenges. Every Lehigh student has this experience and has moments in which they question how or whether they can rise to the occasion. They have, and you will, and we will support you as you do so. So embrace the challenge. Enjoy the successes that you will have. Learn from the failures. That's why you're here. And now I would like to introduce today's convocation speaker, Danielle Lindemann, a faculty member from the Department of Sociology and Anthropology.
There's my speech. Welcome. I'm so honored that my students nominated me to give the keynote speech this year. So I've been asked to reflect on the first year experience theme, which I'm sure you all know by now is crafting our communities with care. So when I was first asked to give this speech, two things happened. First, I began to think more deeply about what community means for me at Lehigh. And really the salient thing that came to my mind is that it's not just a place where I kind of sit and exist and happen to be. It's a place where I'm actively contributing and I get something in return. So to use a really kind of cheesy but apt metaphor about community, it is a living, breathing thing. Which is to say, it's a thing that needs to be cultivated, nourished, and tended to. And that's hard, right? It's difficult to cultivate a living thing. As someone who has somehow managed to kill multiple cactuses, I know how hard that can be. But at the same time, it's crucial. The second thing that happened when I was asked to give this speech was I realized, wait a minute, this is a really rare and valuable opportunity to address first-year students from my perspective as a professor. So what I did was I posted on a Facebook group for professors, because yes, we're old and we still use Facebook, and I asked, what is one thing that you would want your first-year students to know? Immediately, there was a flurry of responses, ultimately way too many to include here today. But there were also a lot of patterns in the responses, and many of the suggestions were things that I myself would have said. So, without further delay, here are 7 things your professors want you to know. And perhaps unsurprisingly, all of these things involve you actively participating as part of the community here at Lehigh. Number 1, go to office hours. What are office hours? You might not even know. Every professor has office hours, which are a few hours a week set aside purely for you. They should be called student hours because, again, they are for you. Reasons to go to office hours include, but are not limited to, if you need clarification about an assignment, if there's a concept in class you're still not grasping, if you'd like your professor to look at a draft of a paper before it's due, if you'd like to discuss your deep and abiding love of sociology, maybe, I dream. But do this proactively. Don't wait until you're falling behind in class. Because if you're struggling and you wait until the end of the semester to come see us, there's not a lot we can do. But if you see us early, we can help you. Because the thing is, we want to help you. I have been teaching since roughly 2007, and I have literally never heard a professor complain about students coming to their office hours. However, I've had students apologize to me for coming to my office hours, like they're inconveniencing me. But you're not inconveniencing us. It's not a disruption. It is literally part of our jobs. So not only will coming to office hours help you, but it also shows us that you are this active participant in your learning, that you care and that you're trying. Okay, number 2, use the resources that Lehigh has available. These include, but are not limited to, counseling and psychological services, academic coaching from the Office of Academic Transitions, peer tutoring at the Center for Academic Success, writing and math help at the Writing and Math Center, our amazing university librarians who can help you with research, and so much more. These resources are right there for you. All you have to do is reach out and take them. Okay, number 3, your professors learn from you. I know it sounds really corny to say, but I learn from my students all the time. And I'm not just talking about learning slang terms like yeet and goated, which I realize are probably like 5 years old at this point, and I know that you're laughing at me inside, and some of you are laughing at me outside, and that's okay too. But when I say that I learn from my students, I don't mean that you know more than I do about sociology. Hopefully you don't. But at the same time, maybe you have a slightly different perspective to offer. Or maybe you're going to ask me a question that no one's actually posed before. Because being in college is not just about being a receptacle for information. College, so much more than high school, is an exchange of ideas. This is the symbiotic relationship we have as part of the community at Lehigh. Make sure you lean into that. Number 4, actively manage your time. University time is a very different animal from high school time. At Lehigh, you'll probably have a lot of time that will seem free, but it's not actually free. And you're going to need to figure out how to best use those large chunks of time to do your course readings, to study and prepare for class. Time management skills are going to be crucial to your success here. So in every class, on the first day of class, you'll get a syllabus. Here's what you should do then. First, read the syllabus. Just trust me on this. Always read the syllabus. And then choose a calendar system to use. Google Calendar, another app. Kick it old school with a paper planner. I don't care. But whatever you use, enter all of your due dates from all of your syllabi into it at the beginning of the semester. Check it daily. Set reminder notifications. Check when you're going to be busy and see when you're not going to be so busy, and then plan your time accordingly. And the thing is, if you find out that you're not able to manage your time effectively, or you just don't know the optimal way to study, you're not alone. Nobody's born knowing these things. But that's when it's time to utilize university resources to get yourself back on track. Remember, actively cultivate. Don't be like me with all the dead cactuses. Number 5, be open to bends in the path. So when I was in your shoes and when I first started at college, I thought I knew what I wanted. I was going to be an English major, I was going to write novels, I was going to be an author, that was going to be my career. And I still did graduate with a degree in English, but at some point along the way, I fell in love with sociology. And the great thing about a liberal arts education at a place like Lehigh, much like the university where I went, is you have the space to do that kind of exploration. So at the risk of sounding like a tour guide, Lehigh University offers more than 100 majors, minors, and programs. And odds are some of those will be completely new to you. So for example, let me just try something. Show of hands. Raise your hand if you took a sociology class in high school. Okay, so some of you did, but most of you did not, right? And I'm also willing to wager that a lot of you are sitting there and thinking, what even is sociology? I don't even know what that is. But be open to taking those courses that might seem far afield to you. Because sometimes that course that you're taking, just because it fits your schedule or it fulfills a requirement, will surprise you. Maybe you, like me, will develop a new love and decide you're going to take a different path. Or maybe you won't, but that class will help you think about the world in a slightly different way as you proceed along the path that you already had planned. Number 6, respect. Be kind to each other, to your professors, and especially to university staff, who are the ones who really keep Lehigh running. Respect is an integral ingredient of community. And when it comes to your professors specifically, remember, we are people too. This is not that part of the speech where I slowly peel off my skin and reveal it was just a veneer over an alien face. We're all humans, and we're whole people. For instance, I'm not just a professor. I have a family, I have 2 kids who I do remember to feed, unlike the cactuses. I even have a favorite Kardashian, and I'm gonna be honest, right now I think it's Kourtney. So, I know, it's surprising everyone. So, certainly treat us with respect, but don't be afraid of us, because we're really just like you. What sets us apart here is that we're a group of people who are so excited about our areas of study that we've devoted our lives to them. And we're really hoping that we can take you along on that ride and get you just as excited as we are, even if it's just for a semester. Number 7, and you've already heard this today, but I think it bears repeating. This is the final thing and perhaps most important. You belong here. You got in here for a reason. It was not a clerical error, trust me. I'm told the admissions office is pretty thorough. That doesn't mean you'll never have a rough patch. It doesn't mean you'll never get a bad grade. You might. But all of us here up on this stage, including myself, I can guarantee you, have a bunch of failures in our rearview mirrors. The key is what you do about that. Pick yourself up. Go to office hours. Use the academic resources that are available. Use counseling services if you need them. Ask for help. You're all starting a new experience together. Like a plant in a tight cluster of others, you'll arc and you'll twist, changing in response to your new environment, though maintaining your uniqueness. You see the English major in me right now? Right. So I hope you'll go to your professor's office hours and learn from us, and maybe introduce us to some of the latest slang terms. Sus? Are you still saying sus? Lit? I don't know, but I want to know. And it will be difficult at times, I guarantee you, even if high school was very easy for you. But in closing today, you belong in this room as part of this community, and we are glad that you're here. So don't just sit back and enjoy the ride. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Lindemann. Sage advice, and you will be receiving similar advice, guidance, and top-tier education beginning Monday morning when classes begin. Next, I am most pleased to welcome our university choir and director, Dr. Stephen Samus. our university chorus, and that was beautiful. And I know that many of you were moved because I was watching you, including you, number 1, 2, 3, 4th guy over in the front row, tapping your foot, nodding your head. That was awesome. And some of you will be on that stage performing for next year's incoming freshman class. For now, our program is coming to a close, and I'm going to ask that everyone stand if you are able. Rabbi Stephen Nathan is going to offer benediction. Following that, we'll ask that you remain standing as our chorus will then perform our alma mater, which is printed on the back of your program.
Class of 2026, that still sounds so surreal. Today we celebrate the beginning of a new year, as we also acknowledge the long heritage of Lehigh. Today we prepare to start a year filled with potential. We all know what can be accomplished when people of different heritages, identities, skills, and dispositions work together towards a common goal. You are blessed to be part of the most diverse entering class yet at Lehigh. But simply having diversity is only the first step. The next step is to take advantage of it, to reach out to people who you might not have reached out to in the past, to try new experiences that might seem a little scary, and to work together with one another to navigate these sometimes tricky paths through this great hilly institution. The first century Rabbi Hillel said, "If I am not for myself, then who will be for me? But if I am only for myself, what am I? And if not now, when?" Let us remember that we must take care of ourselves, body, mind, and spirit. But let us never forget that we must also be there for others, no matter how well you may or may not know them. Make the effort. Don't look away. And if you are not caring for either yourself or others, well, there's no time to start like now. May we go forth today in the full spirit of our humanity, remembering and appreciating the diversity of our university, our community, and our world. May we go towards this world in health and joy and peace. May we be protected from obstacles and barriers on the way. May the work of our hands and minds and hearts be blessed. May we find grace, love, and compassion in the sight of all who see us. May we carry with us the spirit of generosity, compassion, care, dedication, and humanity as we make our lives, our university, community, the city in which we live, and our world a better place. Amen.
May the please remain standing until all university officials have processed.